Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back. So, as you all know, next 2 days, that is from 11th June, CMA intermediate exams are gonna start. So everyone is thinking about how to make their final revision, and most of the people who are writing the group one or both groups, they are right now on to the revision of paper 5 of CMA intermediate business laws and ethics. So today let's discuss on how to make our final revision. What are the key concepts to be seen and which all required attention in the revision, which all to be less focused. That is not they are completely ignored, but comparatively how to prioritize the topics and how a final revision. So let's get started. So we are having four sections. Section A of commercial laws, section B of industrial laws, section C of corporate laws, section D of ethics. So first of all, we'll do a ABC analysis. We'll split them into A category topics, B category topics, and C category topics, so that we will prioritize the preparation order as first we will complete the A, then B, then we will go for C. So first of all, our Companies Act go for A category, and in that there will be further bifurcation, but we'll look into it when we discuss the Companies Act topic. Then we are having Indian Contract Act, Sale of Goods Act, NI Act. Okay, and in industrial laws, Code of Wages go for A category because there will be a short question from Code of Wages. Then let's go for P category, Indian Partnership, LLP. All the other industrial laws will go for B category. Then if we go for C category, Introduction to Law and Legal System and Business Ethics go for C category. I'll let you know what's the bifurcation. This is not based on how many marks you will get in the examination, but how to order your preparation, how to prioritize the chapters and how to revise them. So let's get started in deeply. So when we talk about the Indian Contract Act first, see the essential elements of contract offer and acceptance, consideration, legality of object, then quasi contracts, contingent contracts, termination of contracts and discharge of contracts, then termination by novation, special contracts. This requires a special attention, and these has to be read clearly. That means you should not leave it by giving a single reading, okay, because most of the questions will come from these topics. These topics will has the highest weightage of descriptive questions and most of the chances. Then when we go for the rest of the topics, what and wordable agreements, e-contracts, constraints to enforce, then assignment and contractual rights and obligations, representation warranties, impossibility and enforce, then tender procedures. These chapters you can go with single reading. So those the topics were highlighted in yellow. Those are high prioritized topics in this Indian Contract Act, and those with the blue are less prioritized comparatively, not completely to be ignored. Those has to be read. Then Sale of Goods Act, you can say transfer of ownership, condition, then performance of contract of sale, rights of unpaid seller, and essential conditions of a contract of sale. These are to be read clearly. These are the topics, most important topics from the Sale of Goods Act. Then when we see conditions and warranties in auction sales, these will be good with a single reading, because in auction sales you will be having mostly about when the auction sale is said to be complete, then there is a transfer of ownership, who has to bond the loss, who is having the ownership. In those journals, the optional questions will be given. When it comes to conditions and warranties, there is nothing specific. What is the condition? What is the warranty? What is the difference between conditions and warranties? That's it. When it comes for Negotiable Instruments Act, the definition and features, it will go with single reading because there is nothing much. There is a list of the features and there are definitions for the different types of negotiable instruments and what are the parties, etc. Then the rest of the topics are to be read clearly. Negotiable Instruments Act is itself confusing, but it is a scoring at the same time, which is having a good weightage number of questions in the examination. And once you read it thoroughly, you will be able to answer it perfectly. Then we'll go for the Code of Wages Act. Since all the industrial laws are having very less sub bifurcations, unless when you compare with the Commercial Laws and Companies Act and Ethics, there is no bifurcation, it's a single act. So we cannot split them into important topics and single reading topics. So you have to read them incomplete, or you can go with the marathon classes for them. Hardly it will take 30 minutes for you to revise each of the industrial laws. So finally we'll look at the Companies Act. First, company types, promotion, formation, related procedures, then the topic of directors, and then internal financial controls for financial reporting, and rights of shareholders. These four are having the highest weightage, and there might be a chance from these four topics you'll get two or more questions. Then operational financial control, key management person, it's hardly less than a page in the board material itself, so you can ignore or give a single reading. But it is not advised to ignore because you might get a MCQ question. You cannot lose 2 marks by ignoring a half of page. Okay, so when we come to the Companies Act, we will discuss it clearly because it is having the highest weightage. So from the first part, it's from 12.1. The things you are having is types of companies, classification, and the features of the companies. Like you are having small company, its limit, then OPC, then government company. You are having holding and subsidiary companies. Okay, these type of bifurcations will be there. You have to go with them. And small company limits, they change frequently, so you have to go through it thoroughly and check whether there is any amendment regarding small company which is applicable for you if you are not writing it as a first attempt. So after that, you are having Section 8 company, how to get a license, how to apply for a Section 8 company, what is the registration procedure, when there will be a chance of revocation of license for the Section 8 company, you have to go through it once. Then one of the important topics, registered office. So there again you are having some cases of shifting of registered office, and in that you are having 4 cases. One is shifting within the city, shifting outside the city but within the same state, shifting between the same state but different ROCs. Like in the case of Maharashtra, you are having 2 ROCs. You are shifting from one ROC to another ROC, but you are still in the state of Maharashtra. Then in another case, you are shifting from one state to another state. You are shifting from Chennai to Bangalore. Okay, what are the conditions to be met? What are the requirements? So you have to go through it once. Okay, then we are having MOA and AOA. What is MOA, what is AOA, and the procedure for alteration of MOA and AOA. What are the conditions to be met? Then when we look into the next topic in this, we are having prospectus. Different type of prospectus will be there. Then what is the penal provisions? Then types of prospectus, you are having red herring prospectus, then you are having shelf prospectus, abridged prospectus. So look at them once. Then deposits. In case of deposits, you have to see there is a list of transactions which cannot be considered as deposits. You have to be thorough regarding that. Then let's look into the next topic, charge. So when the charge is to be registered, then who can register the charge and what are the time limits? Then what about the satisfaction of charge? When the satisfaction of charge to be submitted and who is eligible to submit the satisfaction of charge, time limits and penal provisions. So these can be okay with a single reading. Okay, these need not to be spent. These topics need not require much time in company set. So you can go with a single reading, but should not leave them behind. And one more area you should be careful about: public offer and private placement. And also in case of deposit, eligible company. This is an important topic. What are the limits for eligible company, and what are who can be called as an eligible company? How much deposit they can accept? Okay. Then let's go for share capital and debenture. Share capital and debenture. This is where you require attention. So here you have to look about the bonus shares, bonus issue, employee stock option plan, then sweat equity shares. Okay. Apart from them, you have to also know about preference shareholders, when they will get the voting rights, what are the cases they will get in the voting rights, then equity shareholders with differential rights. Okay. Then you are having the case of debentures, what's the tenure, minimum and maximum, who can be appointed as a debenture trustee, etc. things has to be seen. And for buyback of securities, we are having some limits, conditions. Give a single reading for that. Will do now. Then we are going for the last and important topic in 12.1. It is regarding registers. When you talk about the register, where you can keep the register of members, how to change the place of register of members, and how many types of registers shall be maintained. This has to be seen. Then again, we are having another important topic in it, meetings. Meetings has to be seen. Here you are having annual general meeting and extraordinary general meeting. Then you are having the topic of notice of meeting, 21 clear days. Then proxy, who can be appointed as a proxy, who can be called as a valid proxy. Then in again meeting you are having the topic of quorum. What is a valid quorum? Time limit for making a valid quorum. If the time limit of the quorum is not within the time the quorum is not met, an adjourned meeting, when the adjourned meeting can be held, and what is the place, what are the requirements for adjourned meeting has to be seen once. This is the chapter which has the highest possibility of getting questions because there are numerous topics and um, numerous ways for them to ask the questions. Then you are having the topic of voting, type of voting. You are having poll, you are having e-voting, then postal ballot, then show of hands. Okay, these are the topics that requires attention and has to be read clearly. The minutes itself is a small topic. It can be ignored. You won't be able to get much questions from the topic of minutes. Then annual return is an important topic. You have to see the time limit for submission of annual return amount. Again, one more important topic is resolutions in it, special resolution and ordinary resolution. When there is a requirement of special resolution, when there is a requirement of ordinary resolution, which is called a special, which is called an ordinary, has to be seen. It's the end of 12.1. So now let's see what is in 12.2. It's simple directors. Okay. So compared to the syllabus of 2016, a lot of portions got deleted regarding the topic of directors. So there is very less topics and what are the role of the director, qualifications and disqualifications. Then again the appointment. After the appointment you are having triple R: remove, retire, resign. Okay. Then what are the powers of the directors and what is the DIN, director identification number. This can be covered within less time, but this is scoring and it is sure that you will see a question in examination. Then when it comes to the internal financial control, for financial reporting, it's regarding the topic of auditor. So what are the duties and all, you will be seeing that. It's an important topic, you have to cover it. And you are having also topic of audit committee. So what are the limits of company to have an audit committee, whether it is compulsory for such company to have an audit committee or not. Okay, these are the important topics from corporate law. So then we go for B category, Indian Partnership Act and LLP Act. These has to be read completely. No bifurcation, no subcategorization. Okay. These will go for blue because a single reading will give you the clarity of the act, because there is no much complicated things like in a negotiable instruments act that this has to be set in this much time, this has to be given to this such person, this has to be signed and all. Okay, with single reading, Indian Partnership Act, LLP Act will be covered. It won't take much of time. You can hardly take 1 hour for you to cover both these acts. It is suggested because previously we got the question from partnership, because and this time there might be chance, for sure there will be a question from LLP, and that doesn't make that to ignore Indian Partnership Act. You might get question from partnership and LLP, but for sure we will be see a question from LLP Act, and it will be regarding the conversion maybe or formation, or there is the cases where how an LLP can be converted into a public company or a private company. So those require some attention. When you come to the industrial laws, like I said, you can spend 30 minutes on each of them, or you can go for marathon class. It's better. Marathon class will cover the all the major points in it, and you are good to go. But you should at least give a single time reading. It will be helpful. Then when we go for our C category, so here introduction to law and legal system in India, you can give a single reading or you can go for a marathon. This is not much of an important topic, so we put it in C category, and you will get a question from it. There might be a chance that you will get a one question from it, and one MCQ. There is no much high possibility that you will see a question, descriptive type questions from this topic, because this was newly introduced to CMA intermediate syllabus. But there is a chance. So go for a marathon class for introduction to law and legal system in India. You can write general answers for this. Then our final topic, it is business ethics. Business ethics, most of the people will take it for choice, but it is not suggested to take it for choice. And here mainly that 13.2 and 13.4, 5 and 6, then 7. There is a high possibility that you will see a question from among these. One question you might see, and from the emotional intelligence too, and from the rest of the topics you'll be able to see some MCQ questions, or they might not ask from these topics, but it is not suggested to leave ethics aside. Even it is a C category chapter, you will for sure get a single question from this. One question is sure from business ethics because it is having 15% weightage in your syllabus. Then cover each and every topic, because our question paper pattern is like, if you are having question 1, you are having question A and question B. If you are well and good at question A and question B is the topic you left for choice, this is the opportunity cost for you, 7 marks. So it is not suggested to leave any topic. At least if you are having sufficient time, you can read it thoroughly, or if you are not having sufficient time, give a single reading. As if you are not feeling to read it, go for marathon class, but cover the topic in your final revision. So that's for the day. Hope this video is informative for you, and see you again with another topic. All the very best for your exam.